check. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to VidaneTV. It is NEP's night in America and even parts of Canada here at VidaneTV Showtime. Paul Strickland Jr. here in the broadcast booth, and always on Thursday nights. Not coming alone, Aaron Creed here with us as well. Aaron, Thursday night, NEP's night in America. Brother, how we feeling?
We're back, and we're the sun's setting on Indianapolis Raceway Park, also has been known as Lucas Oil Raceway, and also O'Reilly Raceway Park before they got involved in another racing series this year. But yeah, 3 weeks left in the NEP season, and we got a close points battle still. We have a different fast qualifier for today.
Indeed, we do. The 99 putting it on the pole there. Steve Daddio in the Daddio's Auto Parts going to roll off P1. I don't think I picked him in net bets today. That was worth 3 points as the leader. That's no good. But Ryan Messer, he's going to start on the outside.
Yeah, and Messer's the one we're familiar with being on the pole. But there we see row 2, a couple great qualifying runs for Dale Glessner and Corey Casagrande. We'll see if they can stay up in the mix as we move along in this one. Kenny Kibbe and Jason Ricker making up row number 3. Kibbe's currently in the point lead.
Yeah, he's been strong all season long and really on a tear here in the second half of the season. There's the Evan Bollier in the 56 car going to roll off P7. There's the Screaming Eagle of Johnny Miller. He's going to roll that 6 truck off for P8.
And there we see row number 5, Jeffrey Bradway. Keith Lord joins us before he heads to Atlanta to do some more spotting. And there's row number 6, Mario Ercolani and John Peters. He's had a bit of a resurgence here late in the season. He will line up 12th tonight, currently 4th in the points.
There's the riding Salvatore Arsal TV's number 12 truck going to roll off P13. Bobby Ship on his outside there in 14th. Sharon Adams, Zane Farrell going to roll off there in row number 8.
As we continue along in the order, Austin Belkey, Cody LeBlanc making up row number 9. And then we'll round out the top 20 with Jeff Brown, who will be joining us a little bit in the booth this evening once again, and Scotty McDonald starting in 20th.
And we'll take a look at the rest of the starting grid as we dial up, gentlemen. Jeff Brown. Jeff, little booth to truck communications in here tonight. Always good to have you along as our in-race reporter. How's that truck feeling here this evening?
It depends. We were talking earlier in practice. A couple guys were testing out the low line, trying to see if they could wrap the yellow paint down around the corners and get a little bit more longevity out of those tires. The outside line is the preferred groove here, it seems like, at least for a little bit. You can wear your tires out pretty bad running the Kyle Larson groove there. So we'll see if we can pull that off tonight. I know this particular truck, a couple people said they think that it might have some speed in it. I'm not so sure it's got some talent in it, but we're going to give it a shot.
Sometimes a little bit of luck sprinkled on top of that will work out pretty good. There you see the lights are off.
I'll take a lot of luck.
We'll see if we can find some on sale. The pace truck going to dip on down to the safety of pit road. These drivers already lined up 2 by 2. Slow crawl there through turn number 4 until they get that green flag. Barney up at the flag stand letting them know. Well, no, just kidding. That's the backstretch. Pit road entry. That's going to be a little bit tricky throughout this one. It already threw me off. There's Barney in the flag stand letting them know it's time to go. The Griffs Tire Shop 150 is green.
Oh, we got a little bit of a spread out back here in the pack. We got Jared Adams trying to wrap that bottom just ahead of Austin, or just alongside Austin Belke. Belke gets past him for position, and we've got another red truck coming out the outside. That would be Kyle Burkholder in the 27.
Yeah, that's a view from the back. Or I guess an illustration from the back there. But back up front, we had Steven Daddio and Ryan Messer side by side for that entire first lap. But now Messer has cleared Daddio. He's going to get that all-important bonus point for leading a lap and try to gain that 12-point margin that he is the 12-point deficit that he currently has on Kenny Kibbe for his potential first NEP title. The Kibbs is currently... he's knocking on the door. Actually, he's already inside the top 5. So as Messer turns the fastest lap of the race just a couple laps in, as we ride. Look at that camera angle. Getting really close to the ground there.
That's what it's all about. We got the virtual GoPros all up in these trucks, getting you the best views as humanly possible here in the iRacing world. And we call Ryan Messer the Iron Man for a reason. He's won and run in just about every league we've broadcast here on VidaneTV, NEP being one of those leagues for sure. And he's been doing very well over the past handful of seasons. You may have mentioned still chasing that coveted first NEP championship. He's even won a couple of other championships here on VidaneTV, just trying to add to the trophy case here at in the NEP league.
Definitely, for sure, as we see a good battle going on here for a podium spot. Corey Casagrande running in the 3rd spot, and he is currently defending that position from Dale Glessner at the moment. And Corey's out of the championship hunt, so he's going for nothing but trophy hunting at this time, and he's going to lose that spot for the time being, Dale Glessner. But yeah, we'll just kind of have to watch some of these drivers. Kenny Kibbe kind of looking for some redemption as he pulls inside of Corey Casagrande. We'll talk a little bit more about that here momentarily, but some really good battles going on mid-pack here. Cody LeBlanc and I think that was Bobby Ship in the 04, Arsal, all in that pack battling for position right now. And yeah, a lot to be settled here in these last few races. Some drivers kind of out of the hunt for a title or top 10 in points or anything, so it's down to just bragging rights for some of these fellas.
Yeah, and when we get this late into the season and you kind of know that as a driver and maybe as a team that you're out of the point standings, you get after those wins. You start doing things you wouldn't normally do if you were out there points racing or trying to necessarily keep the truck in one piece. Checkers or wreckers, as they say in both the sim racing and the real racing world here. A little side-by-side battle between Bollier and Ricker. Bollier in the 56 going to take that spot. 17 down there as well. He's going to move on up. Keith Lord getting a spot on Jeffrey Bradway, and that's all inside the top 10.
Yeah, it's nice to see Keith joining us this week. Like you said, he's got real spotting duties down in Atlanta, but the shorter commute gives him the opportunity to join us. So I don't get to see him a lot during the active race season, but glad to have him here tonight.
Yeah, I'll have to see. I'm actually flying to Atlanta for the Cup race Sunday morning, so I'll have to see if I can't spot the spotter there from section 163. Heading out there with a bunch of sim racers, as a matter of fact. Wes Hogue, Kyle Young, original VidaneTV guys, Vidane Racing guys as well. John Adams and Allie going to be out there as well. Britt's going to be out there. Whole bunch of sim races. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. We're probably going to have ourselves a couple of frosty cold ones throughout the evening, and it looks like the weather might be a little bit on the wet side on Saturday. So we'll see what the weather does, and That's going to be a whole lot of fun. Be sure to check out on socials. We're going to have some vlogs going on. We're not sure what we're calling the vlogs just yet as we take a look from Steve Daddio's front grill camera. He is still in touch with that leader, Ryan Messer, and you can see really able to kind of pull up as he enters the corner. But look at that drive off from that one truck. He's able to pull away by about a truck length, maybe two.
Look at that other one truck, or officially number 10. Dale Glessner has reeled in these leaders as well as Kenny Kibbe. But Glessner having a great show of it right now in that ride. And he's one of those that he's currently 9th in points, has a couple top 5s this year. But I'm sure he's hungry to potentially get into victory lane. And we saw a first-time winner last time out 2 weeks ago. Jason Ricker finally broke that stranglehold of runner-up finishes as his best career result and became the 21st different winner in NEP history in his 92nd start. So we'll see if we can get another winner potentially. But right now, the drivers that have been dominating the win column this season, Kenny Kibbe and Ryan Messer with 4 wins each.
Yeah, the first race here, I believe Dylan Marhefka actually pulled off the win. Western Pennsylvania driver who no longer with the series, but he was, I believe, the first driver to win back when we were running the old ARCA style cars. And you know, so it's a fun track to drive. It's a tricky track to drive. It does beat your tires up a little bit, and you just kind of have to survive and hope you don't screw up. The pit stop strategy is going to be tough here because if you're running in the back, same thing as a lot of these short tracks, you're probably not going to be able to squeeze in that 4-tire stop without losing a lap under caution. So you really have to kind of game plan it as far as when you come in, when you get your tires. And, you know, comes down, like you said earlier, to a lot of luck.
And they estimate...
A lot of on pace. Keeping it off the fence as well, as you made mention, and keeping up with that tire wear. Trying to keep at it. It almost feels like this racetrack's like a cheese grater on these tires. So I got a feeling, Aaron, we're going to be seeing 4-tire stops all throughout the evening.
Yeah, I was going to say that the estimation is about 85 green flag laps you can make it on a tank of fuel. But I don't know if anyone's going to really try to stretch kind of things and just do one pit stop, even if we go green. It's going to be tough. Keeping the tires under you at a track like this. But a lot of great battling going on. And I'll tell you what, even if this race does get spread out, stay till the end. The margin of victory last season came down to 8 1,000ths of a second. It was the closest short track finish in NEP history when Kenny Kibbe won it over Jason Ricker. We've had an assortment of past winners. Jeff mentioned Devin Marhefka won in season 1. You also had Ryan Libby take home a victory here at IRP, and John Peters when we were running late model stocks, and then Kenny Kibbe in the trucks last season.
Yeah, and we take a look at John Peters just outside the top 10, running P11 right now, and we made mention not quite in the points championship. Missed a couple of races early on, not quite having the fire season that he had a few years ago, but he is still in the championship bracket challenge, and it's between he and Steve Daddio. John Peters came in as the number 9 seed. Steve Daddio came in as the number 3 seed. Right now, Peters back in 11th. Steve Daddio, well, he's still running up front. He's in that second spot, still trying to chase down Ryan Messer.
I wouldn't worry too much about Peters just yet. Like I said, the 229 guys are talking about tire strategy and trying to make sure you manage those tires, manage them carefully. You don't know what this run's going to look like. Surprisingly, we've been a long, clean, green run to start this thing out, 21 laps in. So there's only 21 trucks on the lap. Brian Shipp slowed down for a bit. Notice he was parked on the apron, but he's backed up to full song now. Leaders are about 11 laps out of lap traffic, so we'll see if they can maintain that margin before we get a caution.
Now, one thing I do want to make mention and try and figure out here, we do have 2 sets of tires. We mentioned that a couple of times for these drivers to change at any time down on pit road that they see fit. But tonight's sponsor driver for the Griffs Tire Supply 150, Adam Henry, does he get an extra set of tires because he's sponsoring the race with his tire shop?
I don't think that would be very fair.
Well, he's running P18 right now, and that's, right where his average finish is. Unfortunately on the short truck. So out there having some fun in that 62 truck. Looks like it's still in one piece right now, back a little bit further in the pack. Up front still side by side though for that 5th spot. Evan Bollier is on a tear right now in that 56 truck. You see he got past Corey Casagrande and now gets past Dale Glessner for that P4 spot. 56 moving up towards the front.
He scraped that wall with the right rear just a little bit there, but Yeah, he's going to continue on and continue that momentum. Evan Boyer always strong on the short tracks. I was about to say, I mean, the mention and love for Adam Henry that we gave, that should be enough, right? You don't have to give him a set of tires just for sponsoring the race, right?
Well, you never know. I mean, if he's got tires on the truck, maybe he's got tires in the truck.
Oh, and then
And you
like
said that
inside
Evan
the-
scuffed his bumper up against the wall there. He's a vinyl guy. He does vinyl. He does wraps. He does graphics. He can handle it.
See, there you go, 100%. And that's what it's all about. And just running through, there's a lot of different lines around this racetrack, too. More than one way to skin a cat, as it were. You can see the safer barriers there at this place as well. They've had some updates over the past handful of years, and it's great to see iRacing being able to keep up with it. And I don't know if that 56 getting up into the wall scraped it off just a little bit. He might have just been up there taking those decals off. We might just be seeing a new paint scheme here for the final couple of races here in NEP.
It's quite possible. But right now we continue on under green. We just had completed lap 25 just a lap ago, and still some pretty good battling going on. Some coming and going. We see Del Glessner was up to as far as third, and now he's slipping back. And here comes Keith Lorden at 17. Like we said, he's spotting down in Atlanta this weekend. I think he's spotting in the Truck Series, if I'm not mistaken. But hey, Paul, you did say there might be weather on Saturday, so you might be seeing him on Sunday. Who knows if some races get postponed and whatnot. So, I mean, that would be all the best for you to see a triple header on Sunday or something like that, right?
Oh, I'd be okay with that. Kenny Kibbe okay with taking over second there from Steve Daddio as well. Actually got to meet Keith Lord, of all places, up at Speedway 660 in Canada last summer. I was up there talking with Brent Roy, and well, this fella comes over. He leans on the golf cart. Me and Brent were talking and Brent says, "Hey, have you met the VidaneTV guys yet?" He said, "No, where are they?" "Oh, this is Paul right here." So pretty cool to be able to put a face to the name, get a handshake as well, and just kind of bridge that gap once again between sim racing and real racing like we do here at VidaneTV.
Yeah, I actually bumped into Keith myself, Watkins Glen, a couple years ago. He was able to stop by and visit with me a little bit before he went up to his paid job up in the stands squatting for, oh gosh, it was one of the RCR boys, I believe, at the time. But nice to see him. He's a good dude. It's good to see. It is good to bridge. This sim racing thing's great, but we're all here because of the relationships we have for real, and that's what it's all about.
100%, and we got a big news week here at VidaneTV. Speaking of bridging the gap between sim racing and real racing, partnering up with the Short Track Report. Those guys have been kicking butt down in the southeast portion. Josh Weatherman, Billy Weatherman do a great job covering short track racing pretty much all over the country. They've really got a pulse on what goes on at the short tracks and all the information that the fans and competitors need. And we also hooked up with our friends up in the New England area, my home turf. We hooked up with the Vermont and New Hampshire racing news sites, our group, and they're going to be posting all of their news on the Vidane.tv website. So lots of cool stuff going on over there. And oh, by the way, there's the whole Roku deal as well. We're going to be cutting up some of these NEP races from this season. They're going to be over and re-airing on the Roku channel, East Coast USA TV, or Ikuza TV for short. You can see that press release and more over on the Facebook page for VidaneTV. Do a quick search for it. That's going to be a whole lot of fun. We were able to test some things out, and as it turns out, March 5th, the Spicy Ginger 99+1 at Dover International Speedway. The championship event for this season at NEP going to be live on Roku. Aaron, how cool is that, man?
Definitely really cool, because I mean, when I turn on my TV these days, it goes right to Roku, and I select which app I want to watch, whether it's, Ikuza, or now that I'll have to add, or YouTube, or Flow Racing, or whatever, and there's a lot of cool options that are with Roku, and being able to watch any kind of motorsports, whether it's sim racing or, I was actually studying a little bit the other night. I was watching one of the networks and was watching I think it's your friends from the upper Midwest that you've worked with before that were on those teams, but some of those upper Midwest super late model races from the ASA Midwest Tour, and kind of studying for that, because kind of planning a week in Wisconsin potentially here in July. So got to kind of study what's going on up in that part of the country, and always cool to kind of catch races from the past, or sometimes we're always in for a treat and watching things live.
Yeah, 100%. Kurt Schrader, Steve Charles, Vinny, whatever Vinny's last name is. It's long and 14 digits or 14 syllables and Italian. I still don't know what his last name is, but they do a great job with the podcast. Yeah, you know Vinny. Everybody knows Vinny. He could help. But yeah, that's they've got the ASA Tour doubleheader coming up this season. Once again, it's Slinger and Madison. That was a blast last year. Got to do the spicy ginger piece on the ASA broadcast. We went to Bibbiger's, got some pork schnitzel. And we got some cheese curds, and they were the good cheese curds. They're the ones that squeak when you bite them.
I'm not a cheese connoisseur, but I've heard good things. And I got to go up to Wisconsin before once, and I was there for the Lacrosse Fairgrounds Speedway Oktoberfest, which is quite the celebration that goes on there. Not just obviously you have actual Oktoberfest going on as well during that time of the year. But all kinds of fun and all kinds of nightlife and things like that all over that particular state. So I probably offended a few folks by saying I'm not much of a cheese connoisseur or a cheese head, I guess you could say. But, to each their own,
cheese
right?
Cheese is a very specific type of cheese connoisseur.
That's right. Go Bills.
Oh, boy. But there we saw Johnny Miller in the shot there, in the number 6, having a solid run once again. We got to talk to him on the podium once or twice this season already, and he's always the Screaming Eagle is always good for an entertaining interview. So he's trying to get back up there on the podium to maybe chat with us again. But he's got a few more spots to make up at this time, as we see him trailing Keith Lord and Jason Ricker at the moment.
Yeah, he's going to be looking at his rearview mirror here relatively soon. That 09 truck's starting to move up just a little bit. P8 now for John Peters. As you see, he's moved up a handful of spots since the last time we looked at him. And he's got a little bit of room in behind him. They don't have much room back for 12th on back. They were 3 wide there momentarily. Mario Urcolani, Zane Farrell, Austin Belke back here doing battle. The 12 truck there of Ryan Salvatore's there as well. And you can see these guys are getting up close and personal with each other and that outside wall. So holy moly, business start to pick up here on lap 45.
Yeah, definitely some door handle to door handle racing, even though we don't have door handles on these trucks. But you also could say I heard it on the New Smyrna broadcasts. Our friend Adam Mackey, always with his funny jokes when we talked about, he always says, when someone says, "Oh, you can fit only a piece of paper between those two," and you say, "Well, why would you want
that?" I can tell you, Adam Mackey is funny on the air. He is much more funny off the air as well. But we're not going to get into those stories for sure. Got to hang out with him and the girls at Nashville a handful of times there at I forget the name of that karaoke bar that we went to, but good times were had by all, an absolute blast. And these top 4, they're having themselves a bit of a blast too. They have gotten themselves lined up. Kenny Kibbe keeps peeking that nose down on the bottom. Looks like he's going to try and get a run on Ryan Messer, the leader.
Well, he wants to badly lead that lap because that's a point that evens it back up with Ryan Messer when it comes to bonus points, as far as I can remember. Messer didn't get the points for winning the pole this time. So, yeah, we're going to see what can happen here. Messer's led the majority of this race. That's another thing. You don't want to lead, I think, if I remember correctly in the point system, there's a point for leading the most laps as well. So, Stephen Daddio currently running 3rd. You mentioned John Peters before. And as we see Kibbe once again going under for the lead. You mentioned John Peters before. We have tonight is the championship round of the bracket challenge we've been doing. John Peters versus Stephen Daddio are the 2 last men standing. The top finisher among those 2 wins that bracket challenge. So Stephen Daddio currently in the catbird seat with that, but don't count John Peters out just yet. There's some great battles going on right here up front.
Big slide for that Ford truck there, the Nocturnal Sim Racing number 4. He is trying to get around that one truck. You see the one of Messer slide up just a little bit. They've got lap traffic of the ship truck up in front of them. So Kibby trying to take advantage of that now. You can see, though, that bottom line going to be blocked. He's looking back into the sun. Daddy-O going to drop back just a little bit, give him a little bit of room, and you can see they get down around that 04 truck with ease. Ship going to go down a second lap, unfortunately, in that, or just kidding, that's Bobby Ship in the 04 truck. That's going to be his first lap down, and Kenny Kibby still trying to attack down on the bottom side, and you see every once in a while there on the tailgate, he's got NSR_Kibs on the tailgate. That is his Twitch account. I recommend highly shooting on over to twitch.tv/NSRKibs and taking a look at his video on demand for this race and all of the NEP races. Does a little bit streaming from inside the virtual cockpit. And Jeff, you can attest to this. It is very different looking out the windshield of one of these sim rigs than it is looking at it on the broadcast.
Oh, 100%. It's especially right now, you're getting down into 3, and there's a massive, massive solar glare as you're coming through that corner. It's kind of blinds you for a minute, and that's, things you wouldn't expect from a video game, but here we are. It's trying to keep pace of what's going on the track, trying to comment on it intelligibly is a challenge. As you can see, I'm not particularly great at it. But here we are, we're trying to get around this place. My tires are worn off. I didn't think I was pushing the truck that hard, but apparently we were, and we're just kind of skating around here behind our race sponsor Adam Henry, actually.
You can see as we ride on board with the new leader, the Ford truck of Kenny Kibby, looking into that sun glare, very, very bright. One of the cool things that iRacing has is pretty much nailed as far as the realism goes, and we've got rain, we've got wind and fog and all sorts of different stuff that we have to deal with in the iRacing world. Luckily, just like here in Davenport, Florida, where I've been hanging out here for the last week and the next couple of weeks, there's no snow. So pretty excited about that. No snow in iRacing, no snow here at the Airbnb. And woo, Daddy-O trying to get hold on to that spot from the 56. Bollier trying to take it away, got that block squared away, and then he tried to attack Ryan Messer. Messer didn't quite get it, and the 27 of Jeff Brown getting ready to go one lap down. Jeff, give us a wave there.
I'm going a second lap down, actually, but Jared Adams behind me.
Count it. As long as we're not last. We're got a top 25.
I'm the pink and black 27. You might be watching the red 27 out there.
You know what?
And we got somebody's coming in the pits here. It looks like that might be Corey Casagrande's taking a green flag pit stop.
Yeah, a handful of drivers actually coming down. Corey Casagrande in the 7, Cody LeBlanc in the other 07. That's going to be the 7NH and the 7CT. Going to come down to the attention of their virtual pit crew. Scheduled stop, I'm sure, as we're 57, now 58 laps into this one. And laps clicking off. All green so far here, 93 laps to go. And we made mention, just taking a look at the lap times, the best lap time for Kenny Kibby is a 22.228. Last time by a 23.197. So after 58 laps, banging on these tires here under green flag conditions, they've lost a full second getting around this place. So you'll see once the first couple of trucks come down pit road, pretty much going to force everybody else's hand to make sure that they don't lose all that extra time with these drivers coming down with fresh tires.
Yeah, Zane Farrell, one of the other Icon trucks, came in early, just a lap ago. If you're losing that much ground to the leaders, you're going to pick up a lot under green flag, and at that point, you could kind of flip the race. At that point, you're going to gain so much time on the track under speed on fresh tires. Everybody else ends up in a deficit by waiting, so you kind of force everybody's hand to make that call.
And this is really where you're going to see. But that little puff of smoke down on pit road, for once it wasn't me.
Yeah, I was wondering what was happening, because what you don't want is to get trapped a couple laps down if the yellow flag happens during green flag pits. So, but there you see the difference in speed with fresher tires, just riding with Cody LeBlanc, as he's passing some of these leaders like they're standing still almost.
Yeah, we'll take a look
I'm
at the
watching Zane go
14.
past me. Corey just manhandled me over in turns 3 and 4. Oh, it looks like Dale Glessner's also parked it. Surprising exit, early exit for Dale Glessner in the number 11.
Yeah, running up in the top 10 and going to drop a couple of points here. And there you can see Cody LeBlanc is just really able to get down on the bottom with those fresh tires. I really think we're going to end up seeing these guys come down pit. Oh, trouble! That is not what you do with a new set of tires. Cody LeBlanc going to go around And that's going to bring out the first caution flag of the night. And you can see he is already going to call that tow truck. Man, that 7NH came to an abrupt halt.
And that's a tough break for the Icon guys that had already made pit stops. Cody, Corey Casagrande, Zane Farrell, all on that Icon organization, if you want to call it. They run a little mercenary, but they're pretty good on their pit stops. And this is going to trap all of them a lap down. They did not need to be.
And another development, Ryan Messer got into the back of Cody LeBlanc there when LeBlanc went around, after he went around. Had nowhere to go. So I don't know if that's going to cause a little bit of damage on the front end of Ryan Messer's truck. And that could change things.
Throw a monkey wrench into just about everybody's plan, and that's going to send everybody down pit road up in the front runners. You'll probably see those guys that you may have mentioned got stuck a lap down or so under the green flag conditions. So not going to be able to do, or it's going to make it a little bit tougher to get up towards the front.
Yeah, I don't think we got too many a lap down. I'm currently 19th, 2 laps back, so we'll see what happens. Jared Adams is going to get the lucky dog here. He's coming around the lead now. But it looks like everybody... Oh, no, we got one other truck that stayed out. That is maybe... That's whoever's like behind me, but I can't really tell.
Yeah, it's like Daddy-O to me.
Yeah,
no, we got Corey on track. We got Zane Farrell. All the guys who just pitted going to stay out, probably take a wave around here.
You can see it is a busy place down on pit road. Everybody taking 4 tires and fuel. And Daddy-O going to come out second. Everybody coming out behind Kenny Kibbe as the leaders. And just, you made mention that little bit of a bump ski there from Ryan Messer. He's going to come off pit road. P14. There you can see he is just now leaving pit road. So a little bit of hammer on that MC Hammer #1 truck on the front end of it, trying to get that thing beaten and banged out. We'll see how quick that truck is, but it's always tough to try and drive up through the field when you're used to that clean air, and having to restart back there in row number 7 gonna put a little bit of a damper on the evening here for Ryan Messer. Still has a bit of time, 86 laps to go here at Lucas Oil Raceway, but it's going to be a little bit of a taller order for that one truck.
Yeah, most certainly. So we're going to have to see how this all sorts out. When we go back to green, we've already knocked off nearly half of this race, actually. Trying to do some late night Thursday math there, but 65 of 150 complete. Make it 66. So there you see, we were talking about before, Corey Casagrande and Zane Farrell taking the wave around. So this might work out for them after all, because they're going to be at the tail end of the lead lap on slightly older tires than the guys that pitted on during this yellow, but not too much older, so they should be in decent shape. When we line things up, it's going to be Kenny Kibbe and Evan Boyer on the front row, Jason Ricker and John Peters in row 2, Johnny Miller and Jeffrey Bradway in row number 3.
Yeah, just taking a look at that 09 truck restarting on the outside. You have to look all the way back to P13 for Steve Daddy-O, as he dropped a handful of positions, 2 handful of positions, as a matter of fact, on that pit stop. Had to get some of that damage repaired as well. But green flag once again. You can see the sun still setting here at Lucas Oil Raceway Park. Side by side for the lead. Kenny Kibbe slides on in front of that 56 truck, but he's got the 9er Ricker in behind him. The 09 is there as well, and there is a hornet's nest of trucks in behind these leaders.
Yeah, definitely a big swarm of racers right now going on. Jeffrey Bradway gets inside of Johnny Miller. There's Keith Lord right there in the mix, and Bradway actually lost a bit of momentum there, swinging that truck to the inside. And he's going to lose some ground. Here comes Austin Belke on the outside of the 24, going to try to get to Bradway, but Bradway seems to gather it back up and gains the momentum back after losing a little bit of momentum there. John Peters is moving up, and Evan Boyer just recorded the fastest lap of the race.
Indeed he is. You can see he is just a little bit up higher on the racetrack than that 4 of Kenny Kibbe. Not quite in his tire tracks. Drifted up just a little bit. Was able to use a little bit of that drafting help and get that quick time early on in this one. But I do not think we're done seeing quick times here tonight. And we are going to see these guys come down pit road. And we saw Cody LeBlanc. He got the fresh tires. He got the fuel in the back of the truck and just kind of lost it coming off of turn 4. And that's one of the things that I always used to struggle with when I was doing the racing and not yelling into a microphone. When you're 60 laps into a run, the truck gets tight, it gets lighter in the back end, the tires don't want to stick. Then all of a sudden you've got 4 Mr. Feelgoods on the truck and you've got a little bit more weight in the back of it. You try and turn that thing harder than you need to coming out of 4 and just kind of loop it on around. So I don't think that's the last time we're going to see that here this evening. We do have one more potential scheduled pit stop for these drivers to come down. I think they can make it on fuel. Like you said earlier, 85 laps on a tank of that Sunoco race fuel, but after seeing these guys drop a second on a 65-lap run, yeah, I bet they're going to come down for that second set.
Yeah, the turn 4, honestly, the turn 4 and turn 2 eggs are pretty tough here. You have to be just the right lane. You've got that egg under the throttle kind of feel. You really have to get a balanced out exit. If you do not, it is very easy. It doesn't matter if you're lap 2 or lap 30 of a run. It's very easy to spin those rear tires and loop it right around.
Tell you what, this 13 and the 17, Keith Lord, Jeffrey Bradway, they've been going back and forth here, trading positions rather, for 6th and 7th. They were door handle, as you said earlier, Aaron, and it's funny you gave me an idea because obviously they're race trucks. They don't have door handles. But I think I might have to get one of these decal guys that are in the NEP series to make me some door handle stickers. And as I'm at the racetrack, we'll just kind of go up and put them where they belong.
Yeah, they used to have them on some of the Chevy Camaro wraps. Used to have door seams and door handles on them for the Xfinity series. But that's just one of those. That's one of those things from the Ken Squire school. The Ken Squire. You always hear the stories that Ken Squire would tell you. Come up with 10 different ways to say side by side, and then after he did that, he'd tell you don't use any of those. Come up with 10 more. And he just didn't want the broadcast to have that sameness. He didn't want that call to have that sameness. That was absolutely 100% a Ken Squire thing. And door handle to door handle, whether you. Running off the radiator cap, stuff like that was just, those are the things that every broadcaster has been under the Ken Squire wing, who's had the opportunity to learn from Mr. Squire, definitely embraced that today.
If we have a next time where a truck wrecks out of the field, I want to use the term, so and so is clambering out. I know that was one that I remember hearing. But right now we see Evan Boyer continuing the way in the number 56, currently in the second spot. We just saw Kenny Kibbe in that picture, kind of pulling away a little bit right now. It's always hard to tell. Like Kenny Kibbe, he's one that's been known to conserve and be there at the end. But I guess it's kind of a fine line if you're kind of set yourself out there out front too much and wear the truck out, but I don't think he's doing that. He's probably trying to lead every lap he can so they can even up the score with Ryan Messer there with the laps led. So that's one thing that we're going to keep watching too as we continue to kind of get down to the nitty-gritty here with these last few race weeks. And Kenny Kibbe is definitely one of those guys to watch. I had the chance to chat with Kenny a little bit last week. We had in one of the Discord rooms, it was myself, him, and our old NEP friend Matt Shinosky were kind of chatting, watching the ASA Stars race from New Smyrna a little bit, and also paying a little attention to the Winter Olympics opening ceremonies too that night. So always cool to talk racing and stuff outside of the driver's seat, or whether it's the real or the sim one, and kind of chat with some folks. I still got to get over to the shop of Spencer Davis sometime and chat with him and Keith Lord sometime very soon, and do some bench racing as well. So a lot going on here. You see that it's kind of spread out a little bit, but Evan Boyer and Jason Rick are going to try to track down Kenny Kibbe.
Yeah, he's driving
Kenny's
off
the
into the
strategist.
sunset. Go ahead.
Yeah, Kenny's a strategist. He's a race strategist. He's a road course guy. He's a big picture guy. That's what makes him an easy pick for a championship. I mean, he's done it before. He's just very methodical, doesn't have to race off the bumper a whole lot, but he can if he has to. But keep in mind, he's out for redemption this week. He got turned on the last lap last week, and I mean, it was a racing deal, but he didn't really feel. I don't think he really 100% felt it was that way, and unfortunately, he ended up on the short end of that one. He's out for redemption tonight. He's out to get that win.
Indeed he is. He was out front by about 1.2 seconds, driving off into the sunset, but Evan Boyer picking up the steam just a little bit down to 0.8 seconds. If you're following along on Vidane.net/scoring, brought to you by Wingnut Productions. Got to give old Ashton a shout out for hooking us up with the background noise for the scoring system. It's kind of neat. You got a little spotting guide in there. It downloads all of these truckers' paint schemes, except for Cody LeBlanc's for some reason. Still can't get his paint scheme to load, and I do not know why. We're going to try and get to the bottom of that. It's definitely something on our end, I feel like, because everybody else in the field can see it, and we can't. So we're not sure what's going on there. We thought he was sponsorless for a little while, but just ends up being one of those tech issues. And just like real racing, you got the tech issues in the sim racing world as well.
Yeah, I actually did that wrap for him just before the season started. Just kind of threw it together. So it's it's not that impressive. It's just a car number and the Cody LeBlanc Racing logo. But Cody's been busy this year. He's got his usual spotting gig, as far as I know. Still spotting for one Mr. DJ Shaw this season. So hopefully get to see him in a couple races of his own. But we'll see what happens as the season goes. It's family and things. We see a bit of a thinner field tonight as you guys were saying earlier, a lot of racers starting to look toward the real season starting in a couple weeks, and we had a nice little week off last week. A lot of people spent the time down in New Smyrna, Florida for speed weeks and down in Daytona, and now it's back to the last couple weeks of sim racing before the real race cars come out to play.
Yeah, one thing usually our quiet time. Shoot.
I was gonna say the one thing I can note about Cody LeBlanc when it has the blank scheme there is when he did make contact with the wall, we could see where the damage was quite easily on that car. Oh boy, some near damage there. Johnny Miller and Keith Lord making contact.
Yeah, I can't blame the spotter on that one. Great save by Keith Lord, getting that thing about 45 degrees sideways after contact with the Screaming Eagle, Johnny Miller. Johnny moves himself back into the top 5, having a solid run in that 6 truck.
Yeah, that he is. And he's going to try to stretch it over Steven Daddio now on the 99. He's trying to work his way back towards the front. So we'll continue to see how things go here. One driver that we haven't seen anything of yet, Ryan Messer, he is mired back in 13th position at the moment. And he's got a pack of hungry trucks running behind him as well. That damage to the front potentially may have done something there. When it comes to that incident that we were talking about, Cody LeBlanc earlier, Messer just had nowhere to go when he came up the track. So I thought he woed it down just enough where he wasn't too messed up there, but it does seem like the speed is down on that number 1 compared to how it was running earlier. So Ryan's just going to have to kind of tough it out here and hopefully get luck on his side here down the stretch and hope for a satisfactory finish.
I've told you before, these trucks just are not, NASCAR made the whole marketing on trucks 20, 30 years ago now about tough trucks and so on and so forth. And I don't know, this last iRacing revision of the truck platform just doesn't seem as tough as I was led to believe.
Yeah, just like a real car or truck, you pop something in that radiator area, and it's going to slow it down for sure. And just looking at the lap times right now, there's nobody up in front of Messer right now. He's got clean air on the nose of that thing, and he's running 23.4s, 23.5s, compared to Kenny Kibbe, who's up front running 22.9s. So definitely something amiss with that one truck. Trying to limp that thing home, maybe going to try and climb back in to that bottom half of the top 10 and kind of almost stop the bleeding, as it were, because that Messer truck is in the championship battle, so he's going to try and do everything he can to get back up into the top 10, hopefully the top 5.
Or let me phrase it this way: 93 laps down. We got 57 laps to go in this thing. 50. Well, no, I'm sorry. I'm a couple laps off. I'm two down, almost 3. But what if he's just saving tires out there? What if he's running slow, expecting this race to go green to the finish? I mean, he could have a lot of rubber left after that, and he might be able to make that charge. The question is, has he fallen too far back behind? I don't know what the delta is between him and the leaders right now. Has he fallen too far back to reclaim all of that on fresh tires?
Yeah, there's a potential for that. I mean, it doesn't seem like he's really fighting too hard with these guys to keep track position, although that was some near contact right there between him and Bobby Shipp. So yeah, I mean, he's not it's a little tough because he is almost 16 seconds behind. You know, if he loses a few more seconds, those leaders are going to be on him, and then he's going to be in danger of losing a lap. But I don't know. Maybe he's, as Jeff, you're familiar with, maybe he's playing the Matt Hirschman strategy, you know, falling nearly a lap down, and then all of a sudden might pick up the pace. So we'll have to see what happens here as we continue on. We're nearing 50 laps remaining in this event.
Yeah, I'm letting leaders go by now. Give them a faster line, and looks like we've got a lot of spread between first, second, and way back to third.
Yeah, 0.8 of a second the gap between Kenny Kibbe and Evan Bollier in the top two spots. 1.8 back to Jason Ricker in third. John Peters 3.1 seconds behind the leader, and Johnny Miller in fifth, 4.3. So Kenny Kibbe driving off into the sunset in that nocturnal sim racing rig, and you can see that the sun has finally dipped behind all of the objects here. Your beautiful racetrack sunset. I'm a sucker for a good racetrack sunset. You can see that on my Facebook page. I just had Volusia last weekend. My goodness. But now these drivers have that one less thing on the list of things they have to worry about is that sun glare. So Kenny Kibbe driving off into the sunset. Less than 50 laps to go here at Lucas Oil Raceway Park. And that number 4 truck, he's driving away.
He sure is for the time being, as we continue to watch Kibbe lead the way. And yeah, right now, see if we got any other kind of stats that we want to kind of take a look at. But I think we've covered most of it.
And we got a yellow, guys. Huh? Yellow on track.
Oh, we sure do. Is that
It's
Messer?
Ryan Messer. It is.
Oh, no.
Trouble in paradise for the MC Hammer crew. We'll back it up on the Newhouse Racing Designs instant replay. There you can see that puff of smoke.
Forget
As we
everything
go
I just said.
Did Ryan Messer just lose that truck by himself?
Yeah, let's see here. And he's got a couple of ships on his tail.
That's pretty good.
Nope.
You know what?
Messer, he shipped it himself.
Yeah, he got into the sailboat fuel there.
And you can see he was fighting hard because he just lost a lap. And as we saw Kenny Kibbe and Evan Boyer went by, and if you're the cause of the caution, I don't think you get that lucky dog free pass. So we do see full it's business is picked up on pit road, is what I'll say.
Yeah, Kyle Burkhold was your lucky dog, so he did come by to get that lap back.
Yeah. So Ryan Messer, I think, is going to be trapped a lap down. We'll have to see. He did pit that with the leaders on that yellow flag lap. So we'll have to see how everything kind of comes out here. I think he is a lap down. He's being shown in 17th position. So
yeah, well, let timing and scoring do its thing as all these drivers come down pit road, leave pit road. Corey Casagrande stayed out for a minute, but now you can see the 17 CT is, in fact, coming down pit road. New leader, the 12 truck, Ryan Salvatore, out there for a couple of bonus points. I got a feeling he'll probably be coming down pit road. He's been out there for 40 laps, and he's the only guy that hasn't come down pit road. So I think Ryan just trying to get himself a little bonus point and making sure he says hello to us here at VidaneTV. Hi, Ryan. How we doing? Oh, he can't hear me, can he?
He is not on the channel.
That's okay. I'm sure he's watching from inside the truck. And you can see Austin Belke in behind him as well. I think Belke may have actually come down right before that caution. No, he came down pit road and didn't stop in his box, is what I'm looking at here. So that's kind of curious for the 24, unless we're having a timing and scoring issue where it didn't time it. But in any sense, lights are off. We're lined up 2 by 2. Going to be 45 laps to go here at Lucas Oil Raceway Park once we get this thing rolling once again.
And this is the point where we mentioned Ryan Messer is going to be kind of begging for a yellow if timing and scoring is correct. And yeah, he's being shown 1 lap down. So, what we didn't talk about was the close call when he was trying to get it in the gas. Kenny Kibbe nearly made contact with Ryan Messer. That could have been the championship implications. Kind of glad that it didn't end up that way, although we do want to see them both battling up toward the front. And, things get a little bunched up there on the restart. Our Sal's going to lead the field, but things get a little tricky there.
That's a bold move, Cotton.
Tricky is an understatement. Take a look at the '09 truck. John Peters passing about 63 trucks there, going on into turn number 1, battling it out for the lead. There you can see side by side.
Yeah, we're about 8 wide back here.
Oh, I think that was Keith Lord getting a little loose. Oh, he's still bouncing around.
Bumper trucks all over the place. There you can see the Screaming Eagle trying to do what he can to get that 6 truck back into the top 5. Man, oh man!
Oh boy!
It took longer than we
hard wreck.
Yeah, it took longer than we thought. Now, I don't think. Oh, now Keith Lord's around. Mario Urcolani getting collected.
Couple of
Yeah,
different.
that was a hard wreck for Corey Casagrande. We're gonna have to get somebody down and check in on him. Hopefully, he's okay.
Yeah, he's all right, isn't he? There you can see they were 4 or 5 wide up in front of him. Gets down on the apron, slides up a bit, and there you go. Oh, that is, oh my goodness. Yeah, big hit for the 7CT. We'll back it up one more again here on the U-House Racing Designs instant replay. That was a much harder hit than Ryan Messer took earlier on. There you see he gets slapped by the 24 truck, and oh man, just nowhere to go.
Yeah, I'm going to have to do for a new pair of shorts. That was a bad one.
Now let's see if we can take a peek here. Keith Lord has retired from the event in that 17 truck, rather. Mario Urcolani, you saw, get a piece of the action as well. Looks like he might have got a little help from that 6 truck we were just talking. Oh, drifted up, got that apron a bit, and unfortunately the 6 was there, and nowhere for Ship to go, nowhere for the 41 of Mario Urcolani to go, and nowhere for the 43 to go up there as well, getting a piece of that action. You can see there's Keith Lord calling it a night in that 17 truck, and we revisit the lead. Kenny Kibbe up front, John Peters there in second.
And I don't think Ryan Messer got his lap back, because at the time the yellow waved, Bobby Ship was ahead. Now Bobby did get involved in that wreck. Oh, is he? Okay, so it was deemed that I guess Bobby Ship was involved, because I thought the yellow was already out at the time that Keith Lord and Bobby Ship and them all got involved. But I guess things are gonna.
Messer's being scored back on the lead lap in 15th. It looks like 15th.
Yeah, it's going to sway in his favor. So that's definitely some interesting things went on during that restart. We had a wreck a little bit later than I thought we were going to, as they were, like you said, they were going 4 or 5 wide there into the corners, it seemed, and some bouncing around was already going on. Our Sal is still towards the front, despite losing a few positions there on that restart after starting up front. So we'll see if Arcel can hold on here to a decent finish. And with only 15 trucks on the lead lap, maybe that's the strategy that he has chosen, thinking there might be another yellow a little bit later in the race, come and pit for fresher tires, and then there'll be a difference, potentially. But we're under 40 laps to go, so we'll have to see how things shake out here.
Yeah, I'm seeing some rear bumper damage. I'm seeing some bumper damage on the 04, and that could be what knocked him out of the lucky dog slot there. Somebody gave him a shot to the rear, coming to the yellow.
You see exactly what Jeff was looking at there. We're going to take the restart, I think, here from the 27 truck. Jeff, walk us through this green flag lap.
Well, the first thing I'm watching is I've got fast trucks behind me, and I'm not running all that hot, so I got to be courteous here. I take kind of a bad line in there, but I'm watching that one truck on the outside. I want to try to give courtesy to the lead lap guys there. There's 3 of them all stacked up behind me. We're just going to let them go by and fall into line.
You can see just a tough racetrack to get around, especially when the truck's not handling well and you've got quicker trucks in and behind you. And back up front, not really a struggle. You can see the Kenny Kibbe machine starting to pull away 3-4 truck lengths over John Peters, Evan Bollier in third, Steve Danio back up to P4. Jeffrey Bradway having a good run in P5. How about Zany? Zane Farrell in the 14 Tonka truck. He's back up to P6. Johnny Miller back in the top 10 in 7th. Ryan Salvatore, Adam Henry, and Jason Rick are the top 10. How about that 62 truck making it into the top 10? He's battling it out for P9 right now.
Going for a best career short track run in that number 62, as we talked about that earlier, that Adam, his best short track run this season at least, is his 12th at North Wilkesboro. So trying to top that a little bit, and also trying to get his first, he's going for his first top 10 of the season. So Adam Henry definitely having a good run right now. Ryan Messer continues to once again struggle with the handling of that truck. It seems I think we can officially say that now. I don't know if he's really conserving after we saw what happened there. You can kind of see it with the front of that truck compared to the front of some others, that he's having a hard time keeping up. As there we see Mario Ercolani in the 41, and he scrapes the wall there a little bit. As
with 36 laps, 34 laps to go, this is not the time to be saving. He's got to be going.
Yeah, about a half second off the pace is Ryan Messer. Well, he picked it up just a little bit. Maybe Kibbe slowed it down. It was a 22.3 for Kenny Kibbe last time by versus a 22.5 for Ryan Messer. As you see, Kibbe still able to pull away. A little bit of a slip up there for the 09. Bollier takes a peek high. Nothing quite there. Look how quick these guys come off of turn 4 and approach that outside wall as they come across the start-finish line. As these tires get worn out, we're only 15 laps into this one, but you made mention, Jeff, there's still 35 or so laps to go in this one, depending on what lap you are on. And these tires, they're gonna get hot, they're gonna get greasy, and these guys are gonna get hungry. Especially these guys, I feel like, that aren't in the championship battle. Johnny Miller making an aggressive move back there. Holds on to it, but I feel like with 3 races to go, the championship battle is starting to kind of sort itself out. We've got a handful of drivers that could potentially come home with the championship. Everybody else is looking for those bragging rights and the W's here in this one.
Yeah, for sure. As we see continued, the drivers getting pretty up close to that outside wall. As we see Keith Lord back on the racetrack there in the 17. So he has not officially called it today, although he's running pretty slow on the apron there, so he might be coming back in. And that's exactly what he's going to do, going on the access road that IRP has, and coming back down pit road, and looks like he's going to park it. So tough break for Keith Lord. We'll have to see if he can make it 1 or 2 more times before the end of the season. I know another driver that said that this could be one of his last races of the year is Zane Farrell. So, yeah, there's a lot of bragging rights that are kind of trying to be settled even before we get to Dover, potentially. As we see right now, it's a pretty hungry pack of cars, trucks running for second spot at the moment. John Peters, Evan Boyer, Stephen Daddio, Jeffrey Bradway right there in the mix. I don't think we're done watching this battle yet.
No, these guys putting in work, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. And it looks like Keith came down pit road. Came back out for a couple of laps. Did some laps down around the apron just to get around Corey Casagrande, 4th position. That 7 CT truck still sitting down on pit road, according to the stopwatch. 7.5 minutes of repairs still since that big wreck a moment ago. Kenny Kibbe's pulling away. John Peters, Evan Bollier, Steve Daddio, Jeffrey Bradway, the top 5 as we run. Zane Farrell trying to make the best out of his last start here this season. He is in P6. Jason Ricker, Adam Henry, John Miller, and Mario Ercolani, the top 10 as they run.
And right now, just kind of sorting things out, single file at the moment. We still have 25 laps remaining, so some trying to, especially now that we've made 2 pit stops, you've got what you've got at this point, pretty much. So the competitors just kind of trying to see how it shakes out when we get towards a little bit closer to, inside 10 laps to go or something. Here's one of the best battles on the track, as we see Johnny Miller and Mario Ercolani kind of swapping, almost pulling sliders, I guess you could say, in the asphalt kind of format. As Mario Ercolani went inside and took the position, and then Johnny Miller comes back on the inside himself. So I always like how that number 41 kind of shines there, the way that number on the side of the truck. It kind of looks like it's crossed out a little bit if you're looking from a different angle, but it's a pretty cool look that Mario Ercolani has in that number 41 truck. And I know he was down in New Smyrna last week.
Yes, he was, and that, I believe, is working with the Cole Roby operation. But Cole, another racer from Maine. Mario's a tire guy from Maine, does a lot of work with Trevor Sanborn, Trevor's stepdaughter, Amara Parker up here. But they were down there working with Cole and King Competition out of Canada, of course. Cole's the grandson of Carlton Roby, who used to run Bush North Series races, kind of a journeyman up here in New Hampshire, and his son Jared tried to take a swing at the big leagues. Went down, raced a little bit of All Pro for a couple of years, and ended up back here in New England and as a kid. And Cole's won the Granite State Pro Stock Series championship last year. Won a race at Monadnock, and actually won. I believe he won one feature in New Smyrna and picked up second place in the points.
Yeah, I believe you're correct. And Cole Roby definitely going places in that number 29 car when he runs. And he caught my eye when I went to the Oxford 250 this past year. And someone that I haven't really gotten to see a lot of just yet, but I have a feeling we'll be seeing him a little bit more down south this year and going forward. And, of course, his normal visits up in New England as well. So, but right now we see John Peters has moved into the second spot or actually holds it down, I guess you could say. And they're still staying within striking distance of Kenny Kibbe. And once again, that's a big question of, is Kibbe kind of playing with them? Is he kind of conserving a little bit, or is John Peters and Evan Boyer kind of turning up the wick?
Yeah, they're going to have some lap traffic to contend with in probably about, 5 seconds. They've got Jared Adams running right ahead of them. And then Austin Belke and I are kind of going back and forth here. Austin let me by for a couple laps, but then he reminded me who's got the faster truck. But but it looks like the Ship brothers are ahead of him. So we'll see what they can pull together. We'll see if we can keep it clean in front of the leaders for the next 20 laps or so.
Hey, you can see those front 5 trucks still relatively close. Kenny Kibbe's, he's checked out, I think. Well, I can't even say that because a couple of laps ago it was about 0.8 seconds was the gap. John Peters was able to close in by about a tenth. You could see that difference. He was able to drive away from the 56 of Bollier there. And you guys mentioned Oxford Plains a couple of times a few laps ago. Got an interesting and exciting email earlier on today in my travels. Something. They got a new cameraman in the works up there for a handful of races. So they can't really get into details on that. But be sure to peek out the social media outlets because got some exciting news coming up.
Yeah, and I was glad to see you guys hooked up with Kaysen Hodgson in Vermont, New Hampshire Racing News. Kaysen's an incredibly motivated kid. I've had a chance to work with him a little bit. Very intense. He's doing all of this as I believe a recent high school graduate, and he's just been thrashing. Spent a lot of time being a flagman, junior flagman up at White Mountain Motorsports Park, and now this is his chance to get into the racing news biz. So really glad to see you guys partnering up. I think he'll be a good fit for you guys.
Absolutely. He's up in the New England area, as am I, and ran 2 seasons with us with the Oil Boys I Late Model National Series on Tuesday nights. You can catch all those races on demand over on the YouTube page. We're going to cut some of those up for the Roku channel as well, East Coast USA, or Yakuza TV, as it were. Kaysen did a great job running a race director, and we've mentioned it here in NEP. We've mentioned it on all the leagues that we have here on VidaneTV. Nobody wants to be that race director. He did a great job with it. Had some solid feels all throughout the 2 seasons they were with us, and then they are coming back to VidaneTV next season once it gets a little bit colder. But great to be paired up with those guys and having more content there on the VidaneTV website. Still in the process of getting that revamped. We've got so much going on here in the 2026 calendar year. Sim racing, real racing, wrestling, bowling, darts, lots of stuff on the go. Got to be sure to tune in. And oh, by the way, you're going to be able to check us out on Roku. That's coming up as well. Monday nights, 9 p.m. to midnight over on Yakuza TV. We are going to be throwing a lot of our sim racing content, our iRacing content, some podcasts in the works. Gary Spinato from Run a Race Car and myself are finally going to be able to put together the Send It Pod. That's coming soon, and that's all going to be over on Yakuza TV, provided by VidaneTV. But before we get there, 10 laps to go in this one. Kenny Kibbe out front by 3/4 of a second. Evan Bollier, or check that, John Peters in second. Evan Bollier there in third. Steve Daddio fourth, and Jeff Bradway rounding out the top 5.
And Daddio's going to have his hands full to try to get back up there to Peters. That's also a battle that we have going on that we mentioned earlier, the bracket challenge that we had there going on. John Peters and Steven Daddio, the finalists for that. Daddio's got to make up a little bit of ground to be the bracket challenge champion. Right now, it's handed to Peters. So, but I wouldn't say it's handed to him because it's not over till it's over. We're inside 10 laps to go, but we've seen that almost anything can happen when it comes to these short track races. we could see someone get out of control and collect someone. So right now, though, the slower trucks are staying out of the way, including our friend Jeff Brown right there. And
yeah, that's a conversation I do not want to be having from the dispatch chair, from the broadcast chair.
So next time by, we'll have 7 to go. My eyes were almost incorrect there. I was thinking it said 6 to go. That's what happens when you stare at a computer screen all day long.
Brother, I feel that. I was looking at the 6 truck of Johnny Miller. He and Adam Henry were side by side. Great to see that 62 truck up in the top 10. Having a great run, sponsoring here tonight's race, the Griff Tire Shop 150. Holding on to P9 right now. Mario Ercolani there in the distance in that white 41 truck with the pretty blue numbers. One of my favorite trucks in the field, mainly just because it's shiny around the numbers. That chrome feel, I feel like it adds an extra 5 or 6 horsepower.
Yeah, we got a yellow.
Ryan Messer off the pace. See what might have happened. It was Messer again. And it was Messer by himself again. He is not happy with the handling of that MC Hammer truck. It looks like they got a little close up front. Salvatore in the 27 did, but there you see, just kind of the back end gets light, sends her on around, does a great job keeping it off the wall, and everybody else, you can see, just grabs the gear and gets rolling once again. But Ryan Messer, he's probably looking forward to parking that thing on the truck and coming back next week to see what he can do with it.
I don't think he'll be parking. He's too legit to quit.
Well,
after the race.
Well, the conspiracists might.
Come on, am I the old man in the room cracking a freaking MC Hammer joke?
I knew it was something. I knew there was a joke there. I just couldn't put my finger on it.
Please, Hammer, don't hurt him.
I'm not going to touch
that. And that's all I got.
Not going to touch that. That was pretty good.
But I was going to say that the conspiracists might think that Ryan Messer might have had an itchy foot moment there, and kind of spinning to bunch up the field here for one last crack out of it to see if anyone can catch Kibbe there, since they are kind of battling for a championship. But I think it was a legit. Messer has just had his hands full with that truck, and we can make all the jokes, MC Hammer jokes we want. It just has not been a good night ever since. I guess it was the caution that was before. No, 2 cautions before this.
That opening caution, a little bit of damage ruins the whole night.
Yeah, especially on a short track. Well, sometimes not so much on the short track, but we've got it. This is a 1.5 mile.
Yeah, that damage in a couple weeks at Dover, damage next week at Kansas. That's a night ender.
Yeah, that could do you in.
And we may mention that championship race at Dover here on March 5th, couple of weeks away. Now, crazy to think we're getting ready to put another feather in the cap of an NEP season here. But March 5th, live on Roku, live on Fire Stick, live on Amazon Prime, all over the place. You're going to be able to download the Yakuza, the East Coast USA TV app on both Apple devices and Android devices. And oh, by the way, still going to be able to watch us here on YouTube and Facebook and Twitch. So make sure you give the likes, the subscribes, the shares, all that good stuff, especially over on the YouTube page. Going to be putting up a lot of real racing content over there in what we call the off season here with the iRacing world, because, well, it's nice outside. This guy wants to go out, touch grass, and play with race cars with his race car friends. Lined up 2x2 all the way through. Lights out in the iRacing pace truck. 3 laps to go. Coming to 2 laps to go. This is going to get wild.
We have a green-white checker finish from the looks of it. Well, this is our first attempt at it.
And you're squaring up the 2 guys who've battled to the finish for last week's race, too.
Yeah, and nose to tail on the outside row is your bracket challenge battlers.
Yeah, good luck picking a winner out of this one. Champ versus champ on that front row. Barney in the flag stand letting them know it's time to go with popsicle sticks. 2 laps to go here at Lucas Raceway Park.
Oh, and we got a big stack up on turn 1 here, turn 2.
Oh, I think we're going back to yellow.
Yeah, Sal went around on the inside groove there and came up and blocked the track. We'll see who made it out alive. I saw Belky got swept up in that.
Yeah, it looks like Salvatore just came down with a pit road under that last caution to grab a set of tires. So trying to get that thing back to it. We talked about that earlier on. He was out there for a long time on those older tires, about 40 laps longer, trying to strategy move just a little bit. And when you come down, you get tires, you put fuel in the truck, it just feels a little bit different. You see he was trying to get around Adam Henry in the 62, gets down in the apron, spins on around. There's the contact with Belke. There's the contact with Ship and the 27 truck there as well. So tough break for Ryan Salvatore in the in the 12 truck. Easy enough for me to say. And he's going to stay out. He's going to try and survive the rest of this one, get himself a top 10. But man, one more restart up front, at least here for a green-white checkered attempt. Kenny Kibbe's, we'll see which side he's going to take. And John Peters there in second, Evan Bollier, Steve Dadio, Zane Farrell up into the top 10. How about Jeffrey Bradway still holding on to P6? Jason Ricker, Johnny Miller, Mario Urcolani, and Adam Henry, the top 10 as they run. Don't look now, though. Ryan Messer, P11.
Yeah, I was about to say that obviously that yellow, it just seemed like RSL kind of misjudged the closing rate there on the 62 of Adam Henry going into the turn, but Henry was able to avoid Henry, which is good news for Henry, but also Messer was on the outside of that whole mishap and avoided it. So knocking on the door of a top 10, and I think even though, yeah, it's really going to take a hit in the points no matter what, I think a top 10 finish might be a win here for Ryan Messer.
100%, just trying to make sure that he stays close to that championship battle. We had 22 trucks start the evening here tonight. 16 still on the lead lap. Looks like about 19 or so still out on track. They're still working on the 7CT of Corey Casagrande. He is on pit road, though, on that truck. Well, I don't think he's going to come back out. I think they're just trying to get that thing pieced back together so they can get it on the virtual hauler and get that thing home.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than that part of the night. You peruse the pits and somebody's just trying to carve their car up so they can put it on the trailer, and I think that's where Corey is at this point. That one might be going off to the Icon Graveyard, hang out with some of the other phenomenal wrecks they've had over the years.
The Icon Graveyard, I like it. We might have to do a special piece on the Icon Graveyard.
I totally made that up. We'll see what they've got, but I totally made that up. If they've got one, then that's just poetry in motion.
100%. Lights off on the iRacing pace truck, lined up 2 by 2 all the way through. Champ versus champ up front. Kibbe going to take the bottom side. Peters up top. Bollier, Dadio, Bradway, the top 5. Farrell, Miller, Ricker, Henry, and Urcolani, the top 10. Waiting for Barney to let him know it's time to go once again for the second attempt of a green-white checkered finish here at Lucas Oil Raceway Park.
Oh, we saw a nice view there from the back of Kenny Kibbe's truck, and Kibbe's going to get a good restart, though. John Peters staying with him on the outside. Evan Boyer trying to make it
up the outside wall here.
Handful of wrecks towards the back. I think we're still green, side by side for the lead, side by side for the third. Bollier has a massive run in that 56 truck.
Yeah, right now Kenny Kibbe, though, out of turn 4 is going to get the edge as we see a couple scrapes with the wall as the white flag is in the air. Battling for third, Dadio and Bollier. Dadio trying to muster every bit of speed up to get to Peters as we're going to come out of turn 4 here. Or are we on the back stretch? Did I do the same thing as you, Paul? No.
Nope, that's it.
Kibbe.
Checkered.
Checker flag.
The W. John Peters going to finish in second, and it looks like Dadio going to come home P3. Did everything he possibly could to get that championship bracket win, came up 1 spot short. And we're going to talk to both of those drivers and our winner, Kenny Kibbe, as you can see, a little congratulatory fist bump with the side of the race truck.
Yeah, great race there here at IRP. And unfortunately, a couple drivers slipped out of the top 10 there at the end, but we'll get to that a little bit later. Kenny Kibbe's doing some donuts. Am I with him? I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. A lot of madness these days.
Story of my life. I am down here in Victory Lane. Kenny's still burning them down, and it's cool to see that he's having fun with that 4 truck. We talked about the streams that he does, and you get a different view from the inside of the cockpit of that 4 truck. And, well, Kenny, what was it like coming to the checkered flag? What did you see through the windshield?
Yeah, that was relief. My heart sunk when we got those late cautions. I was like, oh, here we go again. But yeah, it was nice to bounce back after the last race and after, um, just kind of finishing one off here is nice, and bouncing back from the last race, and yeah, just it was nice to just see it through, I guess. So I feel really relieved.
Getting down to the closing races of the season, just a handful of them left, still in the championship battle. Think you're gonna get yourself another trophy here?
Yeah, I mean, I know Messer didn't have a great day today, and this might be a drop race for him, but regardless, we will be extending our points lead. So I think the next 2 races are going to be more about just being smart and have decent races, and I think the championship should be ours. So yeah, looking to button that up.
100%. We'll give you the opportunity to thank anybody out there watching. Who gets you to and from the virtual racetrack?
Yeah, just thank everybody at NEP for coming together every week and doing these races. Corey for helping put this on. My teammates at 4 Wide Weaponry. Great recovery again for Steve, getting back up to 3rd like he did. The strategy didn't quite work out for Austin and Sal, but I appreciate their effort, and they had great races as well. Thanks to everybody that watches my streams and rides on board with me. My friends and family like to watch these races. And I've been saying that we've been racing for Jack this season because he wasn't doing so hot. Well, he passed away before, I think it was before Talladega. So I really, really want to just nail down this championship for him.
That's what it's all about, and that's tough to hear, but great to see the dedication for that championship win. Kenny Kibbe coming home with the W here this evening, and a hard-fought 2nd place for John Peters. Aaron, you've caught up with him.
Yeah, John Peters coming home in 2nd spot, 1 spot short. Didn't really, if I remember correctly, didn't get to take any turns out front there. But you are the bracket challenge champion.
That's fun. Thanks, Aaron. Yeah, I actually didn't think I was going to do that well in the bracket challenge. I picked Evan to win, but I ended up in the higher bracket because I've had a worse season up until that point, and I knew I was going to have to go against Messer, and I thought for sure I'd lose that. But I got lucky, and the Daytona road course fell that week, so little fortune. But it was really fun. It gave us something to look forward to in the middle of the season, so I'll take it. Had a good little battle there for it.
Yeah, and tonight, like we said, came home 2nd. What ended up being the difference there? I guess towards the end, and trying to catch Kenny Kibbe for the top spot.
Yeah, it's track position. This is just not my best track, and I evidenced that through qualifying. So I figured I was not gonna contend on speed tonight. I had to just run a smart race and save tires, try to pick some guys off, be selective. I got 1 or 2 spots on pit road throughout, and in 2nd there, I knew Kenny was still quicker. Wasn't just gonna drive around him. Certainly wasn't gonna drive through him. So I tried on the last run that went longer to save a little bit, just in hopes that I might get a late race yellow and have a chance, and had a couple, but speed differential wasn't enough. I tried to hang on the top, but it was either drive myself in the fence, smoldering my right front, or back out of it and accept a 2nd. So that's what we did tonight, but it was fun. He was definitely better than us, and I'll take the 2nd place.
All right, so we got 2 more events coming up to close out the season. You're usually pretty good on those tracks as well, if I'm not mistaken. But looking into that race and closing out tonight, who gets you to and from the racetrack, and how's your outlook looking for the remainder of the season?
Yeah, outlook is we'll just see what happens here. Kansas is a bit hit or miss for me. I like the 1.5 miles, but I haven't figured that one out yet. I don't have a ton of laps there, so that could be interesting. And Dover's one of my better tracks, but I think a few people feel that way. So we'll see. Outlook is I'm looking forward to 2 more weeks of having fun on a Thursday night. So we'll see. No real points pressure this year. I'm also just very relieved that I had to pee for about 110 laps, and I finally was able to get that done. So I appreciate my bathroom upstairs here for letting me relieve that one. Thanks to you guys for doing this. NEP, the sponsor for tonight, 229 Autosport, my mom for watching, my wife and my dogs for letting me do it.
All right, that's John Peters. We might need to get some kind of contract with a porta potty or or a toilet manufacturer or something on that race truck for next season. But third place finisher, I believe, Jeff, you're with our third place finisher, and was a late race pass for that position.
I am, and I will say Libby Septic Service used to sponsor John for quite some time, so
right.
it looks like they might have. We're a little out of date on that one, but Steve Daddio is sponsored by Daddio's Auto Parts and came back with a third place finish, another podium run. Steve, how'd it go tonight?
I qualified right where I wanted to, and that was right in the pin. And I wanted to control the race, but topside again prevails. The short track Miss kind of, did his thing, and for the first 75, pretty content just to run. And the plan was to not step my dick in the pits, and then I did exactly that, and had to start at the tail end of the field because I sped. And then I spent the rest of the time trying to get back through it. So I will take a third place finish after a night like that.
Out of curiosity, obviously we saw the Icon guys all come down and kind of start that pit sequence coming up to the yellow. How long were you guys going to stay on track, do you think, if you didn't get that lap 50 caution flag?
I was probably going to run it out. I think I was going to run it as far as I can because I wasn't sure what the tail end of the race was really going to look like. So I think the four-wide plan was to just go as long as we can and save the sets for the end. But it turns out I don't know if that really would have worked. I know Sal and Austin, I don't think they really had enough time to be patient with it. The track just got so congested, and there's a little bit of progressive banking here. There's banking through the middle and towards the top. And even on old stuff, you can get a little bit of a run. It's all flat down the bottom. So I don't really know if you could have done anything with it anyway. But yeah, the plan was to run as long as we could and save that extra set.
Obviously, but been long seasons. A lot of people who help make it possible. Who makes it possible for Daddio Racing to be out, and 4-wide weaponry to be out here every week?
We'll thank the sponsors first. Daddio's Auto Parts, River Brewing, YRD, my friends and family, mom, dad watching, my wife for letting me do this on Thursday nights. I always look forward to this. The guys that are running the league, you guys up in the booth, always cool to watch the broadcast afterwards. Evan for not junking me with 2 to go. I mean, I probably would have leaned on me a little more, but Evan's a class act, and he's been doing that all year. So I've got to thank him. That really, I got lucky again with that restart on the outside. So, thanks to him. Congrats to John. You won $1 million with the bracket. That's going to be life-changing. And just looking forward to the rest of the season here, hanging out. Like I said, Thursday nights are always fun. Appreciate you guys up in the booth.
Absolutely. Thanks, Steve.
Solid race in the books. Crazy to think we are getting ready to close this season out with just a couple of races left here. And crazy to think we're going to be able to see this on Roku in a couple of weeks. And this Monday night making our debut officially. We don't know what we're going to call it yet, but we have a 3-hour block on Akusa TV from 9 p.m. to midnight. I don't really want to go power block, but we're looking for a cool name for that. But in any sense, the nameless VidaneTV chunk on Akusa TV going to be able to feature this Monday, upcoming Monday, going to be featuring the X-Lander duels at Daytona as well as the YRD 65 also at Daytona. So be sure to check that out. Check out all of our socials. Give us the likes, the subscribes, the shares, all that good stuff as we put another race into the books. And this race, as always, going to be available on demand over on the YouTube page. But for gentleman Jeff Brown, the race analyst in this evening's race, for A.A. Ron, Aaron Creed, and myself, Showtime Paul Strickland Jr., we will catch you on the flip side. And when we do, we are going to be doing it live.